Hey Flockers, this is Sarah.
And this is Jenny, and you are listening to Naked with Socks, a podcast where we
Assess the mess with finesse. Welcome back. If you are joining us now for the 8th time, you know I'm going to say thank you. We've had a week. We've had a week.
We're on Sarah's couch today. It's a little different than our little podcast studio, but
Yeah.
it just goes with our
With
this
today,
week.
yes, because all I can say is we survived this week. That's all I can say.
Yeah. There's a
both
lot
of
of
us.
spiraling, so now we're going to talk about it and recap it, and
Yeah.
thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. So get comfortable being vulnerable with us as always. Make sure you've got your drink. Cheers.
As always.
Cheers. I held that really weird. There we go. Okay. Cheers. And make sure you are in a perfect spot to have a good time with us. Jenny, what are we talking about today?
Spiraling.
It's such a bitch. And we all do it.
We all do it. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that whole thing and also what to do when it happens.
Yeah. I wish I would have known this when I was in my 20s and learned some of the tools we're going to talk about today. It does help. I mean, it doesn't stop it. You really can't stop spiraling when your brain goes out of control. But we've come up with our own definition of it and ways to help yourself get out of this downward spiral. And our Flocktail for you this week. I said cock.
No cocks around here.
Our Flocktail this fine Sunday. I was going to say this evening because we normally record at night.
I know. It's fun. Like Sunday fun day. It's a fun...
we're day drinking right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What did we name our Flocktail this week, Sarah?
So today's Flocktail is called Little Miss Catastrophe. Because I know that trend right now is going all over Instagram.
I don't understand it.
Okay, so it's basically like these little books that this author made, and there's Mr. Men and then something else, and it's all these like little books on emotions. So Little Miss Angry, Little Miss like, so it talks about it.
Okay. These are little colorful girls that you keep.
Girls, and then there's like little boy ones too. So
I haven't seen a little boy ones.
That's all of a sudden, I don't know what made it like go viral all of a sudden, but it's like a thing now. So I was like, I'm going to make our drink. First of all, talking about, what we're talking about.
Being a catastrophe. Cute.
And using the Little Miss because we're still cute, even when we spiral.
Even when we're an absolute shit show, at least it's a hot mess.
But what's in it, Jenny? What's in our drink?
This beautiful Prosecco rosé.
Oh, I'll show you the bottle
that
if you're watching.
Sarah picked up because it's so cute. Aperol, and then pomegranate seltzer water just topped it off. So nothing crazy. We didn't use any garnishes. We just light, bubbly, fun.
It's super easy. My dumbass, though, forgot that Jenny is allergic to red dye or red 40, and it's in Aperol.
I can't have Aperol.
So she's just doing her Prosecco right now.
Yeah.
But it's a fun drink. Like, it tastes good. It's sweet for sure. But I would say if you're wanting like a fun, girly...
It's close to like an Aperol Spritz.
Yeah, basically.
Yay.
Okay, so for this segment of Would You Rather...
We have a sound now, guys.
Yeah.
It's official.
That is our Would You Rather sound because honestly, none of these Would You Rathers would you want to do.
No.
But if you had to. Okay. So my Would You Rather question today is, mine are always gross. So
why do you always pick nasty ones?
Just assume that mine is going to have to do with like the body or like a bodily function.
Okay, cool. Can't wait.
Would you rather get diarrhea on vacation or the day of a big presentation at work?
Fuck. Vacation. I mean, like, I probably have diarrhea on vacation anyway because of all the shit that I'm eating. And, like, I'm hungover usually. So, like, that's nothing.
You start your morning with a coffee and diarrhea.
Yeah, it's predictable. I'm just already going to plan for it. I probably already have packed medicine.
I am fucking dead.
But I don't want to be in the middle of a presentation shitting my pants.
I mean,
that's embarrassing.
That is, and that's like something you just will never recover from.
No, and people are going to respect you less. They're going to be like, there's the girl that gave a presentation and had diarrhea. No one's going to remember what you presented on.
They're not going to give a fuck what you said.
Vacation, 100.
I agree. Okay, so obviously same answer because... Yeah.
Have we ever had different answers?
I don't think so. Well, I almost did, but you convinced me one time.
Ooh.
Yeah, you convinced me because your reasoning was like, yeah, you're...
Logic?
Yeah, logic.
Logic.
But, okay, what's yours?
Well, I had it on my phone, and then... Oh, okay, I found it.
I don't know what she's going to ask.
Motherfucker, come back.
I'll drink while you get it.
Damn it. This is a hard one.
Is it hard? Yours are hard.
Mine are so intellectual. Okay.
You like it hard.
Yeah. Would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind,
okay,
or telepathy, the ability to read minds?
God, you know what? Honestly, I would rather have telekinesis. It's too much work to read people's minds. Like,
we're already reading their body language.
We can get cues from what they're thinking, like, by just looking at someone. Sometimes. Not all the time. Some people are really hard to read. But how amazing, like, if you're on the couch and you don't want to get up and you can, like, make a drink.
Hey, Vizzy, come over here.
Come on, Vizzy, pop a top and get over here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100, I agree. Because it kind of goes with our spiraling today. If I can read someone's mind and I read their mind, and then I'm just going to spiral out of control.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that would fuck with me so hard. Like,
yeah.
So I would rather... Oh, and if, like, with the kids, like, if you're dealing with a kid and you just, like, need something real quick... There it is. You can just bring it with your mind. So
okay, so we both agree telekinesis is the way to go.
100. Okay, we are going to get into today's topic, which is spiraling. So what is spiraling? So basically, it's when your emotions, your thoughts, and imagination start taking over your logical thinking process. It's an intense downward spiral of thoughts leading to unpredictable and impulsive behaviors. So it's when we act onto these like negative thoughts that like the worst is about to happen. Behaviors could include slashing tires, breaking into your ex's place, self-sabotaging relationships, getting blackout drunk, it happens. Sending hateful texts, lashing out at others. And, you know, factors of spiraling is like feelings of loss, you will suppress your emotions. And also that comes along with like shame and guilt.
Just listening to you say this out loud makes me remember writing it. And I wonder when I wrote this.
Yeah.
Like, I had to have been spiraling at that moment and just, like, put it all
It was last week. We were working on everything.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. We've had a rough week.
What a great definition.
This is like when you know the universe comes to you and is, like, going to bring you exactly what you need in a certain time, like, in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and we have the ability to manipulate that by our thought process. So...
But we're going to discuss all the ways to stop spiral and this really cool thing called pivotal thinking, which Jenny's going to go into.
Raise your hand if you've ever slashed someone's tires.
Put a finger up. No, like
if
you are a spiraler, put a finger up or whatever. Put a finger down for every.
Okay,
yes, put a finger down.
Oh,
for
we should
every.
play this game. This is fun.
Oh, so I've never slashed tires. Have you broken into someone's house?
Wait, hold on. Do you have to put your finger down?
Down. Okay, so
have you ever slashed anyone's tires? I haven't.
I haven't.
I don't think I have.
Keyed someone's car?
No.
Okay. Have you broken into someone's?
Yes.
Okay.
100. I've done that.
Have you gotten blackout drunk? Okay. That's a given.
What are the other ones?
Sending hateful texts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got 2 left.
Lashing out at others. Yeah.
I got 1 more.
Suppressing emotions. I've done that.
Yeah, I drink a lot. All right.
Yeah. All right. So I was
over.
Close. I just, I'm not a very violent person. Like when I get upset, the thought of like violence.
You shut down?
Yeah, I shut down. The thought of violence never like comes into my brain really, unless it has to do with my kids.
Oh yeah.
Then I become like mama bear. Mama bear. Yeah, mama bear.
Mama bird.
Mama bird. And mama bear. So one of the things about being an adult, obviously, is we deal with stress a lot. Like, well, you know what? I feel like anyone deals with stress. But as an adult, you're like, not only, even as a parent, not only are you responsible for yourself, but then you're responsible for other human beings. So as we get older, stress is just like a thing that is part of life. But with spiraling, it's like when we are faced with the unknown of a situation, we have the tendency to overthink and make mountains out of molehills. So
mountains, we make goddamn
volcanoes
out of molehills.
Yeah, not just a mountain. Like we literally go above and beyond with our thinking, I think.
Yeah, and we as in everyone. Like it's not just a Jenny thing or a Sarah thing. Like I think a lot of people do this.
Yeah,
some people are just better at controlling their emotions and not acting on their behaviors.
Yeah,
a younger me would act impulsively and do things. Now I
think as you mature as an adult, you have more of that like ability to like
separate logic from like irrational thinking and
right, unless alcohol is involved, but
that's a different spiral that we're talking about.
But yes, I 100% agree with you. When you're in your 20s, I don't really think that your like brain is
brain's not fully developed. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Sorry
for breaking into your house, but there was a girl in your bed, so.
Why did you do that, man? Come on. So, like, some examples of spiraling, like, can range to, like, what we were talking about, like, slashing tires. But also, like, I know a lot of people, and especially me, like, if I get, like, a sore throat or, like, I get, like, a pain in my side, I, like, will Google it, and it will bring up like WebMD. And it'll be like, oh, you have this disease, or you have cancer
and a kidney infection, and you're dying tomorrow.
You just like automatically go from like, oh, my side's hurting.
You have 3 months to live.
I'm on my deathbed. Like I've done it, and yeah,
I'm better about that. I used to be psycho about that, but I'm better now. Todd's like, won't let me do that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where now I'm like, if I feel something and it's like lasting for more than one day, I won't Google it. Like I'll just be like, okay, it's probably like if like my side hurts or something, I'm like, maybe I just didn't drink enough water, or maybe
we're adulting now.
But like if it lasts for more than like 3 days, I'm like, well, fuck, urgent care, here I come. Like I don't play with shit. So another example. This one's kind of funny. There's like TikToks I've seen of like chicks being like, if having like in your, like you had a dream of your like boyfriend or your partner or your husband cheats on you. And you like wake up and you're like,
oh yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, you're awful. I hate you. Why are we together? And then it's like realizing you have to like come to and be like, oh, that was a dream.
But now that we're on the subject, let's check his phone.
Yeah, so it's like it goes from like waking up to being like, oh, I had this dream, and then you start to act on it. Like,
so, maybe my intuition is kicking in.
Yeah.
Maybe you start questioning their...
Maybe God is telling me something.
Yeah, that's a sign.
So you like go and check his phone, or you just automatically like assume that he or she or they're doing the worst. Like, that's just where we go because, and then like we're saying, like we act out on it. We go check the phone. We
have an attitude problem.
Check their location.
Yeah.
Like all these things.
We're private investigators.
Look up his Facebook history. Like, where has this fucking dude been?
What? I haven't done that.
I haven't either. What are you talking about? We just had a dance session.
There's apparently a fake Santa at Legacy Ale House right now, so...
A fake Santa?
Yeah, in July. Cool.
If you're wondering, guys,
we should definitely go there after
and
go sit on Santa's lap.
Let's go sit on Santa's lap. I'll tell him what I want. I will tell him what I want. Oh, right, man. Well, maybe he'll be my therapist for the day. Go sit on his lap.
He'll give you something to think about. All right.
Okay. So we're having a great time.
Reel
today.
it in.
Reel it in.
Prosecco. Bubbly equals giggly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me just tell you.
Okay. So there's one term that's...
Hold on, we're getting serious again?
Yeah. We're here. Okay. There's one term that when I was doing my research for spiraling, it's called catastrophize. Say that 20 times in a row.
Is that?
You'll be like, is this even a word? You know how you say one word so many times, you're like, is that even a word?
No, I've never done that. But I wish Gwen Stefani would have spelled different words other than bananas,
BANANAS.
I saw a meme. I was like, she should have spelled definitely or necessary, or catastrophize.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
So catastrophize is predicting the worst outcome, assuming the outcome transpires, and then we won't be able to cope with all of this, and it's a disaster. An example of catastrophizing would be say you're in college or you're taking an exam for a big job or to pass your boards or to get to the next step of your career or something. You take an exam and you just automatically assume you just failed it. You fucked it up hard, right?
You walk out of that room and you fucking...
I've done it.
Downward spiral.
Yeah, so you just tell yourself, I'm done. I'm not going to pass now. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to have a job. I'm not going to have money. I'm going to have to go do this. And then it's and all I've worked hard for is never going to come to light. And
I had group therapy with a girl that was like that. She would cry after she would take a test because she literally thought, well, if I fail this test, then I'm going to fail this class. If I fail this class, I'm not going to get into college. If I don't get into college, then I'm not going to get this degree. And if I don't get this degree, my parents are going to hate me.
So she was literally just spiraling
and
down.
And this was 16 years old. And I remember thinking, fuck.
Yeah,
But we all do it.
We do. We all do it. So that's just one example of catastrophizing. And a really crazy... statistic that I came across was that 70% of our thoughts are negative, and we are hardwired to focus on the bad. And they were saying one of the reasons of that is through evolution of survival of the fittest.
Okay.
Like having to like
fight or flight mode. Your
like
brain just is automatically looking for the danger.
Right. Like, so like when we would have to hunt for food or things like that, you would have to have that, like that preparation of the worst. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like in our DNA basically as human beings. But it is crazy because that's over half of our thoughts are negative. And having to fight that and having to be intentional with our thoughts.
Intentional is a good word.
Yeah, we have to like think about how to pivot the thoughts into something, because Jenny brought up a great point. Like, you can't necessarily stop a spiral, right? Is that what you were saying? Yes.
You can't stop it, but you can manipulate your thoughts or your environment to change your energy.
Yeah.
And your focus. And this is something that I learned living with, I'll always talk about my old roommate, best friend, Amber.
I feel like I know her. By the way, if you're listening,
like a spirit animal. This is the woman that I lived with when I met Todd. And we were really into weird stuff, like lemon cleanse diets where we wouldn't eat anything. We would only drink like salt water and lemon. Like, it was just, we did some weird shit. She had crystals, and like, she made me listen to these things called Abraham Hicks. And all my friends think that I'm crazy when I talk about this, except for her, because we're on the same page. She's an empath, 100%. Okay, anyway, side note. She would make me listen to this thing, and it would always talk about the vortex.
Okay.
What is this vortex? And basically what it was referring to is energy and the universe and things like that. And we listened to this one particular lady. Her name was Esther Hicks.
Okay.
And she's an author, an American author, and channels basically this other human called Abraham. So she calls herself Abraham Hicks because she channels someone else. Anyways, it's a whole thing. The main thing that I took away from this was the pivotal thinking. So whenever you are in that spiral, you have tunnel vision, and you're catastrophizing the situation where you think the worst is happening. And I have to pull up my notes here because I totally wrote. So basically what Abraham preaches is that you tune into your thoughts and you stop your immediate thought of action. So you have tunnel vision at one point, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, he's cheating on me, or this is happening, or this is what I'm going to fail this test. And you have to focus on something immediate in your vicinity and repeat it repeatedly. So you're manipulating your thoughts and your environment, and you're directly influencing. So a good example of this is like when we're in spin class, which we haven't gone to in a while because I've just been a hot mess. I'll be in my head thinking this, and I start spiraling, and I'll stop and I'll be like, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull.
Yeah.
And I'll get into my immediate presence and think of something that, like, that's what I'm doing on the bike. Like, push,
you're pushing.
push, pull, push, pull. When you look up and it's like, oh, the words on the wall, it's like, oh, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I'm like, challenge you, change you, challenge you, change you, challenge you. And I will literally just repeat 2 phrases or 2 words. And that is an example of like pivoting your focus onto something else.
That's really cool.
So push, pull. A lot of people say, like, for meditation, they tell you to focus on your breathing, like breathe in, breathe out, because it's something you can feel. It's something that's like tangible almost.
Okay. Like the physical
so like
act of breathing.
So you stop yourself in your spiral. When you realize you're spiraling, when you feel the impulse to act, to pull out your phone and text something crazy, or, you know, your thought process is just kind of going out of control, and you're like, well, this and this, and the worst can happen, and this, and then that happens, and this is going to happen. That's when you stop and you're like, wiggling my toes, like
Yeah.
taking a deep breath. And you're thinking of things in the present environment, and I'll repeat phrases. So like, life is good, life is fun, life is good. Even if I don't believe it, it's just something that you repeat.
You're thinking about it too. You're like, life is good.
Life is fun.
Life is fun. And then it brings you to a place where you're thinking about things that are fun.
Well,
right? I feel like that's what it would do.
And
right?
now you've derailed your spiral.
Exactly.
You're focusing on something else. And what will happen is, and it'll happen, it takes so much practice and so much time. I've done this for years now. You'll derail and you'll come back. And then, like, you'll start thinking about it again. You'll be like, oh, but then I saw this and then wanted this. And then it's like, oh, nope. And then you have to come right back. So, like, the present moment, like, I like wine. 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 My toes are strong. My toes are strong. And I'll just like wiggle. And you have to really stop and pivot your thinking and go somewhere else with that. And and just things that are in your environment immediately are the easiest to kind of take your focus off of. I'll do songs. So like one song that I always think about is the Outkast song, or what's her name, Fergie. Like, pump it louder, pump it louder.
It's very repetitive.
And you have that beat, and then you walk around and you do it until you can think of something else to change or I count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
That's
3,
really
4.
That's a great
And that will stop the spiral.
Yeah.
In its tracks. That was something that I learned from this Abraham Hicks, and she said, then what you do is you go from that and you can focus on the good things. So that is a higher level of thinking where it's okay, but this is the very first step. Just distracting your brain.
Yeah.
Literally distracting yourself with something healthy. Then you can go on to the next step. Life is good. Life is fun. I like wine. My children are healthy. My husband is amazing. I have a roof over my head. Then there's the positive thinking and that which takes, it's a lot. As of right now, like in your very early stages of spiraling, just focus on 2 words and say them over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like an example for me would be like when I don't have my kids, when they're with their dad, I get nervous of like if they're okay. Like, not that I think something's wrong or that they're in a place of being in danger, but I'm not there to be with them. You know what I'm saying? Like when the whole like school shootings happened, I like spiraled. I did. Like I wanted to see my kids. I wanted to look at their faces. I was like,
it's a good example.
I was getting anxiety, crying. Like it was just like,
you can't stop the spiral sometimes.
No, you can't. But I did have to kind of do what you're talking about, where I was like, they're healthy. They go to a great school. They're okay. They're
protected.
They're protected. I just talked to them. I saw their face. It's okay. Life is good.
You had to pivot your thoughts. You had to stop and literally the tunnel vision and break it.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do. And it's hard to recognize when you're in that spot. And I think of, in my 20s, like I didn't have the ability to do that. I didn't even know what that was. And that's when, the maturity comes with age. A relationship and age. And you figure out like, okay, spiraling is not healthy. And there are different ways to cope with it. I definitely use not a lot of healthy ways to cope with it. I still do. But
we all do. But I love that way of thinking.
That's just like that's how I stop it. Like, and I think of I think spin's like a good example. And you can be working out and you just left foot, right foot. We can be walking outside. Just go on a walk and focus on one thing. Blue cloud, white cloud. Blue cloud, white cloud. Just repetitive thinking, and just break that train that's just
about to derail.
Derail hard.
Jenny, you had a great experience. And by great, I mean perfect example of spiraling. And
perfect example, but we hear people still do this.
Oh,
in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a thing. Like,
it's a thing.
We spiral. And what happens is we get called crazy, or this goes into our narcissism and our gaslighting. And I think about what would make me think it was okay to drive to someone's house and break into their house and go into their thing. Like, I thought that, like, at that moment, that was logical.
Yeah. Because you were on that, like, that train of spiraling.
Yeah.
Like, you were just, like,
but it goes back to, I didn't have any coping skills. And and to me, love, the example of love I was going off of was from my parents' upbringing. So Sarah and I were kind of discussing, like, you've never done anything super crazy like that to an ex, but you also had a really good example of a loving family home. Like, your parents had a good relationship. Where mine, it was constant, like, fighting. I mean, love was very passionate and also very aggressive and very, like, that was how I was.
It was never really, like, even. Yeah.
I mean, and for me now, not that love is boring, but when I lack that kind of fire, then you start, then that's just, like, childhood trauma that I feel like I kind of deal with. Yeah. But, yeah, I spiraled. I vividly remember I was in my, like, early 20s. I had to have been 21.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Because I was drinking and driving. And my boyfriend was like, oh, I'm going to bed. And I was like, that's weird. You're going to bed. Like, I'm out drinking, doing things. Look at your face. Yes, that's literally.
I know, like.
You spiraled. I instantly spiraled. So I was out drinking, having a good time. Good night, love you, blah, blah, blah. Well, then Jenny gets some alcohol in her and keeps going. And I'm like, he's not going to bed. He is not going to bed. Yeah. He is fucking someone else. Mind you, this was his parents' house, not even.
His house. Like, where
his house. Okay. So that's how, like, young that was. And the next thing
I literally know where this is going.
Next thing I remember is just, like, standing, and I almost feel like I saw myself in, like, a third person. Like, someone was walking.
The ghost of you came out of you or something.
The ghost of me is looking at me, staring at them in a bed. And I was just like, how did I get here? Like, what do I even do at this point? Like, I had, like, snapped out of my spiral. And I'm
so what did you do?
I drove to his house.
Okay.
And I went in through their garage, his parents' garage door.
Okay.
Or garage window.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. I think there was there's something. And then I went through the window, and then I went in through their garage door. Because it was open. And his parents were out of town.
Okay, so it was just him at home.
Yeah.
Well, so we thought.
You thought. No, I knew. Because, my parents are out of town. I'm going to go to bed. Good night, babe.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Shady. That's shady.
Yeah. So, passionate Jenny is like, I'm going to go investigate this business. But the front door is locked. When I pull up, there's another car outside.
Oh, shit. So you knew. Like,
there was nothing. Not at any point I wondered now if I would have done pivotal thinking, like how this would have turned out.
Life is good. Life is good.
I'm okay. But
he's an asshole. That's what I would have said. He's an asshole.
I honestly, I swear, I remembered like a ghost, like third party. I woke up and I just was standing in his room and they were asleep. It was him and another girl. And I just remember staring at her purse being like, what kind of purse is that? what am I going to do? Wake him up? Turn on the light?
Yeah.
Be like, surprise, motherfuckers!
I'm here, bitches!
I calmly left the room.
That's nuts.
And I don't really remember.
It's like a movie. That's like a movie scene. I swear to God.
Yeah. So I don't know how I told him that I ended up breaking into his house, but definitely the next day he knew that I knew. So then I spiraled out of control even more. And instead of like, I suppressed my feelings instead of being like, let's work this out. And I was a crazy person and drove to your house, but I was right. So I'm not really crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's the part with spiraling and being young. And at that point, I mean, anyway, yeah.
So if you...
that next day went floating down the Kings River, if anyone knows what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know how you guys have the springs.
Okay, so you just were like chilling?
So I just remember like, then I just go into like wall up, default, blackout, goodbye, which I kind of do now at this point. I realize like it's not worth the trauma. It's not worth me looking crazy. It's not worth me breaking into people's houses, driving around drunk and being a psycho. Like now I just put up a wall and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But that's also not healthy.
Yeah, you gotta talk.
There's gotta be like a happy medium.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a fun float down the river if anyone remembers that day.
So don't break into your ex's house, even if you're right.
Yeah. No.
Because obviously like you knew. And I'm sure his
I could have just left. Like there was a car out front.
You could have just even you could have just driven by. Exactly.
There was no need for me to go in and like traumatize myself and
see the situation. Right.
But I mean, we mature as we get older. And honestly, I could see myself now. Like when something's going on and I start spiraling, I'm like, I'm gonna drive over there. I'm gonna do this and I'm act like, and then I'm like, no, I'm good. Purple clouds.
I do that a lot when I'm texting. Like I'll be like, I want to fucking go off, man.
Blocking. And if I block you, it's not because I'm mad. It's because I'm scared of what I'm gonna do to you.
Yeah,
like you can do that. Block people if that's gonna help your situation. Like. Temporarily or like mute or whatever.
Yeah, if there's someone that like you're constantly in a struggle with, like fighting wise, I would say that's a good idea to do that with. Like if someone is bringing that like negative energy into your life.
Yeah, if I feel my old self coming out, or I feel my 21-year-old I'm gonna break into your house Jenny coming, like we're just gonna shut it off right there.
We were talking about like suppressing emotions, and I've been in situations where people I have been around have spiraled, and I just didn't really know how to handle the situation because it's just a lot to like deal with. And when I would find myself like in a depressive spiral, especially like these last 5 years, I've been through a lot. And one of the ways that I would deal with that was like working out like over like way too much.
Something you can control.
It was something I could control. And again, it's that whole like perfectionist mentality of I can be really good at something and like no one can take this away from me. And it was like an escape from like the reality of what I was going through and dealing with someone around me that was spiraling. So I haven't really done anything like slashing tires or breaking into someone's house or but I have had unhealthy behaviors of like that suppressing that like whole you're dealing with things like even with going through the whole falling out with my family, I did things like that were very unhealthy for myself, like blacking out. And because you don't even know how to, when something so traumatic like that happens, you're spiraling and it's like you don't know how. Again, I probably at that point didn't really know how to handle those like big emotions I'd never felt before. So it was like I would do certain things like black out, wake up and be like, what happened? Type thing. Because it's just you just don't want to feel the hurt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
you numb yourself.
Yeah. So those are all behaviors that are not healthy. when you are going through like a spiral or like a depressive spiral, like there's just something really traumatic you're going through. But, you know, there is light at the tunnel.
Yeah.
At the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So the takeaway for today is, like we were saying, you can't stop a spiral, but...
Or predict them.
Or, yeah, you can't, like, say, oh, 2 days from now, I'm going to have...
An emotional breakdown and have severe anxiety and think the worst thing possible and then act upon it.
Right. So we can't stop a spiral necessarily, but we can control our thinking process and pivot or manipulate our energy. Jenny had a great, like, takeaway for when you are going through a spiral, and she said it's like basically a buddy system. Can you explain that?
Perfect example. Like the last 3 days, I've not been able to get out of bed. I've just been sleeping, amongst other things.
Yeah.
And you have to have a buddy to pull you out of that. And being able to have a healthy distraction. This is like our healthy distraction.
It really is.
And I did not want to put on makeup today. I did not want to be a real human today. And you have to be able to call someone and be like, hey, I need you to distract me. Or hold them accountable. Like, hey, we're recording today. We're doing this. Or even if you're just like, I'm laying in my bed and I haven't put on clothes or showered in 2 days. Like, I need my friend for some wine time. Like,
yeah.
Buddy system. Reach out to someone you trust. Even if it's not even that close of a person you don't trust. Like, you need a healthy distraction that isn't laying in bed, that isn't getting blacked out drunk, that isn't just fucking your life away.
Yeah. I'm here for you. If you,
So if you're like, repetitive thinking isn't working, you know, where you're just like, what's that song? What's the song? I lost it.
Pump it up.
Pump it louder.
Pump it louder. We gotta.
You can't get in your car, and like drive around and do a thing and distract yourself. Like, get a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Hold yourself accountable.
I agree with that.
Healthy distraction.
This is a great thing for me because, you know, I do have stressors in my life and I do suppress them and I don't like to talk about them. And I have that like anxiety, like spirit of like, I can't chill. Like, I know no chill. Like, I can't take naps. Like, I can't do anything like that. So it's like, I feel like my anxious energy, like,
balance each
other out.
Well, I was laughing because I was thinking all my friends know when I disappear, like, and I do this, like, I'll just fucking fall off the radar.
Yeah,
you're like,
you do.
Or Sarah's texting me like, hi, are you okay? I haven't heard from you in a few days. Because I'm like, and then I just die. And that's just my...
Yeah, now I figured that out about you, but I'm never going to stop texting you. Like, my fucking anxious energy is just going to be like all, like...
It does. It's a good balance. So
yes.
You have to have your buddy system accountability. Find someone, whether it's your significant other, your best friend, a coworker, someone that you can reach out to, and they can hold you accountable.
Yeah, and like
human.
Like we were saying, the healthy distractions. And the biggest thing, honestly, to take away from today is we all spiral. So don't beat yourself up for when you do, because you're not crazy. Like,
no,
you're not crazy.
We're not perfect.
Nobody is ever going to be where they're in like this perfect state. So we're all going to have these moments of going through something.
Try it. Practice it. When you're spiraling and you're having horrible thoughts, focus on something else and a 2-word phrase and repeat it. I swear, it's game changer.
That sounds like
that's the pivotal thinking.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. That's where you stop it and derail it.
Yep. Just
we're all a work in progress.
Recognize it. Be okay with it. Be kind to yourself when it's happening. That's a great takeaway, is to be kind to yourself when it's happening. Don't Don't talk bad about yourself. Don't be like, you're stupid. Why are you doing this? Why did you, like, just be like what she was saying. 2-word phrase, like where you're just like, or like 3, life is good. I am healthy. Like, you just have to have those instead of beating yourself up.
And back to our energy attracts what we are putting out there. If we're putting out all this negative energy, we're getting it back tenfold. So when you start really repeating phrases and stopping your train of thinking and you're starting to think higher and more positive about yourself, you're going to get those things back from the universe.
Thank you for listening today. We hope you felt inspired by our stories in one way or another.
Don't forget to click on the link on our website in our bio. You can definitely give us lots of feedback. You can fill out our surveys, and we just love to hear from you.
We appreciate anyone that when we do like a poll on our Instagram that you respond. It really does help because this was one that we did. We did like a poll on it, and this got the most votes. So we appreciate it. The other ones we're going to definitely talk about. I'm excited for. So we want to get to know all of our followers. We want to hear from you. So keep it up. Thank you. We always appreciate it. We appreciate your understanding and grace with us with
we have shitty weeks.
If we have a really bad
together
week
on a Sunday.
we start the week off doing this. So yes.
Find your buddy.
Find your buddy.
We're your virtual besties, but you also need an accountability partner.
Yes.
I mean, I guess we could be that if you
And
wanted
be kind to yourself. You're a good human.
We're not crazy.
We're not crazy.
I mean,
we're crazy, but we're not crazy at the same time. You get us.
Crazy is just like such a subjective term.
You're not losing your mind.
Yeah.
You're good.
Cheers.
Cheers.